All right, this table that I told you yesterday about, it summarizes the most important thing for the 5 vertebrates. Let me zoom in. Okay. Regarding breathing, for the fish, we said absolutely they breathe through gills. A specific type of fish, lungfish, they use lung, and eels, they breathe through the skin, but mostly fish through gills. Amphibians, we said that when they are tadpoles, through the gills, and when they are adult, lung on the land and skin in water. The rest of them, lung, okay? Reptiles, birds, and mammals, they breathe through lungs. The chambers are very important. Fish, they have 2 chambers. Amphibian, 3, and reptiles, 3, with the exception of crocodile. Don't forget crocodile, 4 chambers. Birds and mammals, 4. All of them double circulation, double circulation, double circulation, double circulation. Only fish, single circulation. For the warm-blooded and cold-blooded fish, amphibians, reptiles are cold-blooded or ectothermic. Only birds and mammals are endothermic. Now, how do they convert the ammonia? Let me tell you what is ammonia. Ammonia, it's when this is the same thing in human. When we eat protein and it's broken down to the toxic ammonia. And the body has to get rid of it. How? For example, in human, in the liver, it is converted to urea. Okay? This is the same thing here in the amphibian. Sorry. In the amphibian and the mammals, it's converted to urea. While in the reptiles and birds, it's converted to uric acid. Okay, now urea with the water, it's urine. Okay, except for the fish get rid of the toxic ammonia directly by diffusion from the skin. It gets rid of it as it is. For fertilization, it's external fertilization happens in the fish and amphibian, while the rest of them fertilization happen inside the body, internal fertilization for reptiles, birds, and mammals. For the fish, remember, shark, they have internal fertilization. They give birth, okay? They don't lay eggs. So this table is very important. It's like summarizes the most important thing. I think we're done. Yes, we will start with the question. Any questions so far? No, Fars, it's not about
Yes, can you?
Yes.
Miss,
Yeah.
Can you please just go review the reptiles quickly as
Yeah,
late?
sure. I want to answer Firas, I think. Firas, you said that the table is everything. The table summarizes the most important differences between the 5 vertebrates, but there are other information. So that's it. That's not it. You have to go also to the other information up. Let me go to the reptiles. Which of the following organelle is responsible for packaging protein, the final touch of the protein after ribosome and ER? Yes, it is A, Golgi apparatus. Which of the following organelle does not take place in protein synthesis? Which one has nothing to do with protein synthesis? Yes, lysosome are for what? Who answered C? It's correct. For what? They have digestive enzyme. They are to clean up. It's like a cleanup. It's like the vacuum of the cell, okay, to get rid of what the cell doesn't need, okay? It has nothing to do with the protein synthesis. Nucleus, nucleolus, Golgi apparatus, all. Why the nucleus? Because the DNA inside nucleus, and it has role in protein synthesis. Nucleolus, it produces the ribosome, which is important for protein synthesis. Golgi apparatus, it makes the packaging, so it's important for protein synthesis. Yes, Muhammad.
The nucleus is part of ribosomes.
Which one?
This B is it part of the
You're asking about
ribosomes?
nucleolus?
Yes.
Yes. Nucleolus, it produces the ribosome. Okay, to the cell. It's the factory of the ribosome to the cell. Okay, 10. A membrane-bound organelle that produces energy for cellular activities. Which organelle that gives you energy? It's your mitochondria, correct. So B, mitochondria. 11. Ribosomes are produced in which of the following? I answered this question now. Not B. Yes, C. Nucleolus, it's the place where the ribosome are produced. 12. Photosynthesis occur in, where does it happen? Yes, in the chloroplast. Which of the following cells do you expect to have a cell wall? The cell walls, so you have to choose what? A plant, because animal cells have no cell wall. So which one of them? Yep, C. Only plant cells, they have cell wall, not animals. So human skin cells has no cell wall, red blood cell has no cell wall, liver cell has no cell wall. 14. The following structures are found in all types of cells except. Yes, absolutely D. Why? Chloroplasts are only where? Plants. Yes, they are only in the plant. 50. Which of the following organisms is only found in plant? Now, which one of the, other than chloroplasts, it's special about plant? Yes, it is the central vacuoles, okay? Also this one, chloroplast, central vacuole are only in the plant cells. 16. In an organism that has chloroplast, the cell wall is most likely made up of, we see this questions a million times. Yes, cellulose. So the cell wall is made up of cellulose. All of the following organelles are found in animal cells except, again, the question in different way. Yes, B. Central vacuoles are only in the plant cells. Light-dependent reactions occur in the two stages of the photosynthesis. Why B? Yes, B. Yes, sorry. B. Thylakoid. Yes. Stroma, the light-independent reaction. 19. The light-independent reactions occur in, yeah, in the D. Yes, in stroma. Which type of chlorophyll absorb the most light? It's written in the slide, but I did not read it. Chlorophyll. There is two chlorophyll, A and B absorb more. 21. What end product of photosynthesis is released into the atmosphere? If you go back to the equation of photosynthesis, what is the thing that is released? It is the oxygen. Yay. Yes, oxygen is released in the atmosphere. The source of energy required in order to form carbohydrate during the Calvin cycle. Remember Calvin cycle, it's the light-independent reaction. What is produced in the light-dependent reaction that will be used in the light-independent reaction? It is A, yes. NADPH and ATP. They will be used in the next stage. 23. Which of the following carbohydrates is produced by photosynthesis? So the plant will produce what? Yes, they will produce glucose, the simplest sugar, glucose. 24. Which of the following steps occurs within the light-independent stage of photosynthesis? Light-independent stage, it will produce what? It will produce, from the CO2, it will produce the sugar, right? So which one? It is A, correct. The synthesis of 6 carbon molecule. Why is it 6? Because the glucose is C6H12O6. Yes, Hussein, what's your question?
Assalamu alaikum. Miss, is starch found in plants?
What? Is
it starch found in plants?
What's the word? Is it what?
Starch.
Starch. Okay, starch. Starch, it's a polysaccharide. Long chain of glucose, it will produce the starch. Polysaccharide, lots of glucose. Not only glucose, other monosaccharides together to produce the complex starch.
I see, thank you.
You're welcome. Muhannad, a question?
Um, uh, what is the oxygen produced in the plant? Is it light independent or light dependent?
The light dependent reaction, the H2O will split to produce the oxygen. Dependent. Okay. Let's finish a few more questions before the break. 25. Which of the following molecules can be produced from the product of photosynthesis? So B, yes. That was the question for you, Hassan, I think, Hassan. The plant will produce glucose, and from the glucose, they can start to produce complex polysaccharide, like starch, like cellulose, okay? 26. Why do leaves turn yellow during autumn? What happens? So yes, it's D. Why? The breakdown of the green chlorophyll pigment. So we start to see the leaves yellow. 27, the fluid that occupies the internal space of chloroplast. What do you call the fluid? It is, yes, A, stroma. And which of the following is a C4 plant? I told you to memorize example for each one of them. So it's A, the sugar cane, is a C4, white and black. Both genes appear in the offspring. This is called codominance. So both alleles are visible in the phenotype. Multiple allele, it's number 3. And the most common example or multiple allele are the blood groups. We used to have 2 allele, tall or short, okay? And at the end, you'll have 2, one from your mother and one for your father. But sometimes you have 3 options. It's not 2. For example, blood group, there are 3 alleles, the A, the B, or the small I. So people with blood group A, they can be either, they can take from their mother and father, both the IA or IA, where's the next, or IA small I. Let me write them here. The blood group A, they have 2 options. Either they take from one parent this one and the other one this one, or from one parent this one or this one, okay? For the blood group B, they take from the first parent this one and the second parent this one, or from one parent this one and the second parent small I. AB, it's only one case, this one and this one from each parent. O, it is to take from one parent small I, the other parent small I. It's recessive, okay? Now the point is, can you see we have 3 alleles? Usually we have 2, but sometimes it's 3. So the blood groups explain the multiple allele. The trait is determined by multiple variation of genes, not only 2 as we used to know from Mendel. Another example of multiple allele is the rabbit fur color. This is another example of multiple allele. There are 4 alleles, capital C, small c, like to the power, okay, CH, or C to the power H, or small c. And there is sequence of dominance. If there is only one capital C, it will take this phenotype, the brown. If there is C, CH only, because now it's the dominant, and there is no C, there is only this one, chinchilla. If C to the power of H, it will be Himalayan. If small c, it will be albino. So the idea, we have 4 alleles, and there is sequence of dominance. Yes, Mohamed, what's your question?
Can you go back to previous slide about the blood types?
Blood types, yes.
Yes, the A blood type. How many alleles does it have?
How many? This is the 2 options. Either to take from one parent, the AA, and the other parent A, or A and small I. Because I is recessive, the small I, and there is one dominant. The same thing for B, the same thing for AB. Or to take the small I from parent number 1 and parent number 2. Okay. Polygenic, the 4th exception of Mendel's exception, polygenic trait. Usually we're talking about the same gene, but sometimes more than one gene. Gene number 1, okay, with gene number 2, with gene number 3. So, for example, 3 genes will produce this specific trait. Okay, this is called polygenic trait, and the most common example is the individual height, the skin color, and IQ. This is an example of polygenic trait. So it's more than one gene together will produce a specific trait. All right, so we're finished with the 4 exceptions of Mendel's experiment. Now, genetic combination, it is, yes, Ayman, what's your question?
What if you see a co-recessive gene? Do we also get a mix in that case?
You're asking about what? I did not get
Like if you have a co-dominance, you get a mix of the features, right?
Yes, yes.
So if it's only recessive genes, do we also get a mix in that case?
No, the idea of codominance, when we call this trait is codominance, when both traits appear, regardless if it is dominant or recessive, because now they are both of them dominant, okay? Yani we don't call it dominant and recessive. As long as both phenotypes appear in the offspring, this case is codominance, regardless of dominant or recessive, okay?
Okay.
I answered your question, okay. Okay, now here, yes, it's how can you calculate the number of possible genetic combination? Use the formula. Sorry, this is not 2 times n, it's to the power of n. Please correct it. It's to the power of n. Where's the here, I think? Super. Yes, it's not 2 times n, it's 2 to the power of n. And what is n? The number of chromosome. Here it's corrected. So 2 to the power of, let me correct this one as well. So super script. Okay. So you just follow this equation 2 to the power of n to know the possible genetic combination. So in this question, if an organism has 4 pairs of chromosome, 2 to the power of 4, that's it, 2 to the power of 4, and it is 16. Human chromosomes. Again, how many chromosomes do we have? 46 chromosomes in human. Now, 2 of them are sex chromosomes. Why? Because they determine the sex of the human. And 44 chromosomes, we call them autosomal chromosome, okay? The 46 chromosome, 44 are autosomal, 2 of them are sex chromosomes because they determine the sex. If these 2 chromosomes are XX, she's a female. If these 2 chromosomes are XY, he's a male. Karyotype, what's a karyotype? It's just a photo, or it's an image for the chromosomes. Usually they take this image during mitosis. Why? Because the chromosome become thick and they can see it clearly. And they just arrange them in size, okay, in pairs. That's it. It's only an image for the chromosome. And in the male, you will see that it has XY. In the female, it has XX. This is the only difference between male and female. What is a pedigree? A pedigree, it's like a family tree that shows how a specific trait runs in the family. Usually they use the circle to show she's a female and the square for the male. If it is shaded, fully shaded, this means this female is affected by this disease. And if it is half shaded, this tells us that he's or she is a carrier. Same thing for the male. Shaded means affected by the disease, and half shaded, he's a carrier as well. Okay. So, and you will see how questions about pedigree. You only need to know circle is the female, square is the male, fully shaded, affected by the disease, half shaded, carrier. And we will see some questions. For example, this question. But before, yes, Muhammad, what's your question?
All the chromosomes of the person.
All chromosomes again, what? I prefer, Muhannad, you to type your question, please. Every time you ask, please, can you please just type your question? Muhannad. Yes, Abdullah. I have several resources. I added question from several resources, and Zama book is one of my resources. Karyotypes, are they all the chromosomes of a person? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. See, where's karyotype? See, we have how many chromosomes? By the way, this is important. How many chromosomes do we have? 46 chromosomes. How many pairs do we have? We have 23 pairs, okay? One from your mother and one from your father. So this is important, by the way, in the questions. How many chromosomes or how many pair? Maybe your answer will be incorrect if you did not read the question carefully. How many chromosomes, how many pair? So as you can see, yes, the whole chromosomes are in 23 pairs. And if you count each one by itself, you will see that they are 46. So yes, Annette. Yep. Okay, let's move on. Okay, this one, the pedigree. So for example, an example of questions on pedigree, the pedigree diagram below show a certain trait expressed by the parent, which of the following represent the offspring. We can see that the father does not have this disease, and the mother, she's a carrier, okay? She has one gene that is normal and a carrier. So which one do you think the offspring will be? C is the option. Why? There is a chance for the son to have the normal from the father and the normal from the mother, or the normal from the father and the gene of the disease from the mother. The same situation for the girl, the daughter. They can be take the normal from father and mother, or normal from the father and the disease, the gene from the mother. That's it. So this is the way of question, and we'll see other questions about pedigree in the when we start to solve question. Now, sex chromosomes. As we said, there are 46 chromosomes, 44 are autosomal, and 2 are sex chromosomes. Now, the types of chromosomes, the sex chromosome, as we said, X and Y. For the female, she's XX, male XY, autosomal. 44 chromosomes or 22 pairs, okay? Chromosomes and pairs. Here, one pair, 2 chromosomes, the sex chromosomes. Okay, based on this table, you will be able to answer question regarding hemophilia or color blindness, okay? This is very important, and you have to understand it in order to solve questions. Hemophilia and color blindness, those disease, both disease, they are carried by the X chromosome. They are carried by the X chromosome, okay? X chromosome is in both the male and the female. But why is those two diseases more common in male than female? Because the male has only one X. So if he has the gene, he's affected. There's no chance. But for the female, because it's a recessive disease, it has to take 2 genes in order to be affected with hemophilia and color blindness. By the way, hemophilia, it's they have problem in stop bleeding. It's a bleeding problem. And color blindness, you know what's color blindness. They have problem in colors. So the female, it has 3 chances. She can be either normal, and we write it XX. You will see why, because now we have to solve questions regarding color blindness and hemophilia. So if she is normal, you just write the female is XX. If she's a carrier, what do you mean by carrier? She's normal, but she carries the gene, and she will inherit this disease or this gene to the next generation. How do we write it? XX small c, okay? She carries the gene. Or she's affected. Both X has the gene, small c for both. Now for the male, he can be either normal, XY, never ever a carrier, because this disease is recessive. So he can be either normal, or if he carries the gene, he's affected. This is very important, and you will see in the question, okay? Again, the female can be normal, carrier, affected. The male, only 2 chances, either normal or affected. There is no chance to be a carrier. Let's see the type of question for color blindness and hemophilia. If the father is color blind, so this tells us that the father is X and he has the gene. I will write small c here. colorblind, so he has the gene. And the mother, she's a carrier, so only one X has the gene. The other X is normal. So this mother is normal, but she has the gene. Okay, now, after you know what's the mother and father, you have to perform the Punnett square. Just 1 second, Luai, let me finish this question. I'll give you the time to ask. So X, C, Y, this is the father. And the mother, she's X, X, C. Okay, so the first thing in those questions, you have to decide what is the mother, what is the father. Then we have to do the Punnett square. Now this one with this one. So X, X, C. One of the X has C. This one with this one. Both have the small c. Now this one with this one. X, Y. This one with this one, the X has the G. Okay. Now our Punnett square is ready to answer the probability, to see the question. The first question. What is the probability the child is colorblind? Now they did not determine is it male or female in general. What is the probability for this parent, this father and mother, to have a colorblind child? Let's see the first square. This is colorblind? No, this is the carrier. Here, this is a colorblind? Yes. Here is one square. It's she's colorblind. Here, XY normal. Here, XCY for the male. 1X is enough to be colorblind. So yes, I can see 2 square are affected. So the answer is what? Either 2/4 or 50%. Okay. Let's see B. What is the probability that the child is male and colorblindness? Now we have 2 things. They want the child, let's find the colorblind male. I can see only in 1 square he's colorblind, this one here. The male here is normal, so 1 square is 1/2. But they want what is the probability of something and something. This is math. The probability to be male is half. Half times half equals 1/4. So that's why it is 25%. Let's see C. If the child is female, now it's outside. Yani it's not from the probability. We will not do what we did in B. What is the probability that she is normal? They want the probability for normal girl. I can see girl. It's yes, okay. What is the probability for the female to be normal? It's only for those parents, they can have either a normal girl or an affected girl. So 50% normal, 50% affected. So the answer is 50. Hopefully it's clear. Luai, what was your question? Luai, maybe?
I just got confused because you put the father as XY, but never mind.
Okay, did you understand why the father?
Yes.
Yes.
Because he's because he's affected by the
Yes,
color blindness.
Yes. Only 2 chances for the father in the question. If the father is normal, XY. If the father is colorblind, X small CY.
Okay.
Okay. And then you draw the Punnett square. Then based on what the question asks, go to your Punnett square and see if it is 1 square, 1/4, 2 square, 50%, 3 square, 75%, all of the square, 100%. Is it clear, everyone, the probability? Yes, alhamdulillah. Perfect, perfect. We'll see more questions in the questions, inshallah. Okay, let's move on. We still have 7 minutes. We can move on. Now, for the sex influence trait, it's like the alopecia, which is the baldness. Alopecia, sex influenced trait, it's autosomal. It's not carried by the sex chromosome. It's normally but autosomal, but it is affected by the hormone. The testosterone level is high in the male, so the baldness is dominant in the male and recessive in the female. Okay, so this is the case for the male and female. The capital B represent the bald, the small b represent not bald. So capital B, it's for both male and female, bald. For the male, capital B, it's dominant. So even if there is capital B, small b, the male will be bold. But the female, because we said it's recessive, so it has to take both recessive from the parent. So she will be not bold. Small b, for both of them, it's not bold. So this is what we call it sex influence trait. It is carried by the autosomal, but it is dominant in the male and recessive in the female. Yes, Muhannad?
Mr. How is it autosomal, but it's also sex linked? Why
I
is it
explained it.
like
I explained this. It's carried by the autosomal, but it is affected by sex. Why? Because it is affected by the sex hormone. The testosterone level in the human, you know that the female, she has a little bit testosterone, but absolutely unlike the male. So the testosterone level in the male is high, and this is affected